Okay, so see this particular question, define the term neutralization. Okay, so what is this neutralization reaction? Neutralization, neutralization, neutralization reaction. Okay, so what is this basically? Neutralization reaction is when your acid, when your acid reacts with base, when your acid reacts with base, it gives what? It gives you salt, it gives you salt plus water, salt plus water. And this particular reaction is known as what? Neutralization reaction. Okay, so I'm just giving you one example. Okay, so mm, suppose this is what HCl, so HCl aqueous. Okay, so this is what a acid, and what is the name of this acid? It is what? Hydrochloric acid, hydrochloric acid. Okay, and this is reacting with base, that is what your NaOH, NaOH aqueous. Okay, and what is the name of this base? This is what is sodium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. And after this reaction they are forming what? NaCl, and this is again what? Aqueous. And what is the name of this salt? Salt is what is sodium chloride, sodium sodium chloride, and plus H2O, that is what your liquid, and this is what your water. Okay, this is what your water. So this is basically, this reaction is what? Your neutralization reaction. You can say that this reaction is what? Your neutralization reaction, where HCl, that is aqueous hydrochloric acid, is reacting with NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, giving you sodium chloride, that is salt, and giving you water, that is again okay, water. Now come to the second part, that if 1 mole of a strong acid reacts with 1 mole of a strong base, the heat produced is always the same. Okay, now why? So I'm just taking two strong acids. Let's take two strong acid, that is what, HCl and HNO3, and again take two strong base. Suppose this is what? NaOH, and take this is what your KOH. Okay, so these are what? Two strong acid and two strong base. Okay, now I'm just let's take one example. Suppose HCl is what? Reacting with what? NaOH. Okay, it is reacting with what? NaOH aqueous. So it will give you what? NaCl aqueous plus water. Okay, NaCl aqueous plus water. Okay, and if you see this, it's a strong acid. Okay, if it's a strong acid, it will completely dissociate into what? H plus and what? Cl minus aqueous. Okay, again it is what? A strong base, and again if it is a strong base, it will again completely dissociate into what? Na plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous. Okay, and you know salt is also always it is a strong it will what? It is a strong electrolyte. That means you can say that it will dissociate completely. So when it will dissociate, it will dissociate like this: Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous, and again this is what your water. Okay, so when you see this particular reaction, you can see that these Na plus and Cl minus ions are as it is present. Okay, as it is there in water, you can cut it also. That's why sometimes, I mean, we call it also, sometimes we call it what? Spectator ions. These ions are what? Spectator ions. These ions are what? Spectator ions. Okay, so basically the reaction is taking place in between what? Just H plus and OH minus, and it is giving you what? Water. Okay, and some heat will release here. Okay, some heat will release here. It's an exothermic reaction. That means some heat will release here. Okay, now take another example. This RK stands for what? Reaction. Don't use it in examination, better to use it. Okay, this is what? Exothermic reaction. Okay, it's not a standard. Okay, Now this I'm taking another example. This one is the first examples. Now take these two, strong acid and strong base. So you will see that the same reaction is happening. Okay, that is the reaction between H plus and OH minus. Let's see. This is what your HNO3 aqueous, HNO3 aqueous plus plus this is what again what KOH aqueous, and this will give you what your KNO3 aqueous, and plus what your water H2O liquid. Okay, so again it's a strong acid. It will break into what? H plus aqueous and plus NO3 minus aqueous. Again it's a strong base. It will break into what? K plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous. Okay, and again it's a salt. It will break into what? K plus aqueous and NO3 minus aqueous, and this is what again your water H2O liquid. Okay, so you can see again these ions are what? Spectator ions. You can cut it also. Okay, so these ions are what? Spectator ions. So the net reaction is in between again H plus aqueous and plus OH minus aqueous, giving you what? Water. So whatever the strong acid and strong base you are taking, whether it is HNO3 and KOH, or you are taking HCl or NaOH, the net reaction is what? Your H plus combining with what? OH minus, and giving you what? Water. Whether you are taking HCl or NaOH, or you are taking HNO3 or KOH. So if the net reaction is same, that is independent of the strong acid or strong base taken, so the heat evolved in that particular reaction will be again what? The same. Okay, so this was the question. Okay, so I think hope you understand this part. Okay.